What if I told you that everything you've learned about energy production might be completely wrong? Right now, in this very moment, there's a machine sitting in a room that's powering appliances without a single drop of fuel, without being plugged into any wall, and without producing even a whisper of pollution. Sounds impossible, right? Well, buckle up, because what you're about to discover will make you question reality itself. We've all heard the promises before: clean energy, limitless power, revolutionary breakthroughs that never quite materialize. We've become cynical, and honestly, who can blame us? But every once in a while, something comes along that forces us to pause and reconsider everything we thought we knew. Today might just be one of those days. There's an inventor who's been working in the shadows for years. His name has sparked debates, triggered skepticism, and yes, even inspired a bit of hope among those brave enough to believe. Critics have said his ideas were too radical. Some called him a dreamer living in Fantasyland. Others simply wrote him off as someone who talks big but can't deliver. But here's the thing about dreamers who actually build stuff eventually. They have to show their cards, and that's exactly what's happening right now. The device everyone's been whispering about is finally being revealed to the public. Not in theory, not on paper, not in some carefully edited promotional video. This is happening live, right in front of skeptical journalists, experienced engineers, and anyone else brave enough to witness what could either be the biggest breakthrough of our lifetime or the most elaborate demonstration ever conceived. Picture this scene. There's a platform in the center of the room. On it sits a machine that looks almost too simple to be revolutionary. It's sleek, metallic, with a few subtle lights dancing across its surface. The components are arranged with precision, every element carefully positioned. Around this device, you've got a crowd of people who've seen it allure. At least, they thought they had. Their faces show everything from cautious optimism to outright disbelief. The tension in that room, you could cut it with a knife. The inventor steps forward. He's calm. Maybe too calm for someone about to demonstrate something that could literally change civilization as we know it. He looks at the assembled crowd and reminds them that what they're about to see might clash with everything they learned in physics class. No power cables snaking across the floor. No fuel tanks waiting to be refilled. No traditional generators humming in the background. Just this device sitting there, ready to prove a point that could reshape our entire understanding of energy. That demonstration kicks off with something simple. A few lights, some basic electronics, nothing fancy. They flicker on, drawing power from this mysterious machine. You can hear the murmurs rippling through the crowd. Skepticism is still running high, but now there's something else mixing in curiosity. Because those lights are definitely working. And there's definitely no conventional power source anywhere in sight. Then things get interesting. More appliances get connected. A refrigerator starts humming. A microwave begins running. Even some industrial tools fire up all at once. And here's the kicker: everything keeps running smoothly. No dimming lights. No power fluctuations. No generators groaning under the load. Graphics flash on nearby screens, showing the energy output and the numbers climbing higher than anyone expected. The evidence isn't hidden behind complex equations or technical jargon. It's right there, visible, undeniable, real. You should see the faces in that room. Scientists who've built their entire careers on established physics principles are exchanging glances. Some are nodding slowly, like pieces of a puzzle are falling into place. Others are raising their eyebrows, mentally scrambling to reconcile what they're seeing with what they know should be possible. Because, according to everything we've been taught, this shouldn't work. And yet, somehow, it does. The inventor explains how it operates, but he keeps it simple. He talks about magnetic fields, resonance, and a unique approach to capturing energy that exists all around us. He deliberately avoids drowning everyone in complicated formulas, because he knows that understanding the significance matters more than understanding every technical detail. This isn't magic, he emphasizes. It's innovation that stretches the boundaries of conventional science. It's about looking at the universe from a different angle and asking questions that most people were too afraid to even consider. Engineers are frantically taking measurements now. They're checking readings on multiple instruments, cross-referencing data, making sure their equipment isn't malfunctioning. Because if these numbers are accurate, multiple independent devices are confirming the same thing. Then they're witnessing something genuinely extraordinary. The kind of moment that gets written about in history books decades later. Questions start flying. How efficient is it really? Can it be scaled up to power larger systems? What about real-world applications beyond this controlled demonstration? The inventor handles each question with patience, acknowledging that this is just the beginning. He hints at future developments, larger models, devices that could potentially power entire neighborhoods or even cities. The potential applications seem almost limitless once you start thinking about them. Of course, not everyone's convinced. The skeptics in the room, man, there are plenty point out that extraordinary claims demand extraordinary proof. And they're not wrong. History is littered with inventions that promise to revolutionize everything but failed spectacularly. But even the most hardcore skeptics have to admit that what they're seeing right now is compelling. Some are already drawing comparisons to other pivotal moments in history. The first demonstrations of electricity, The Wright brothers' first flight. Moments when humanity collectively said, wait, we can actually do that. Let's talk about what this could mean if it's real. And I mean really real. Not just demonstration real, but commercially viable, mass-producible, change the world real. The global energy landscape would flip upside down overnight. Countries that have built their entire economies on fossil fuels would face unprecedented challenges. Meanwhile, nations that embrace this technology early could leapfrog decades of development in a matter of years. The environmental implications alone are staggering. Imagine carbon emissions dropping dramatically as clean energy becomes not just possible, but practical and affordable. Think about rivers and forests beginning to recover from generations of industrial pollution. Picture cities breathing cleaner air for the first time in decades. Envision developing regions finally gaining access to reliable power without having to build massive infrastructure projects that take years and cost billions. No more blackouts during summer heat waves. No more communities left in the dark because the grid couldn't handle the demand. Energy independence wouldn't just be a political talking point, would become a reality for millions of people. Transportation would transform completely. Electric vehicles wouldn't be constrained by limited charging infrastructure anymore. Factories could run continuously without worrying about energy costs eating into their budgets. Hospitals could operate critical equipment without backup generators as a failsafe. Schools in remote areas could access digital learning tools previously unavailable due to power constraints. Even space exploration could benefit. Imagine spacecraft equipped with compact, high-output energy devices capable of supporting long-duration missions without massive solar panels or dangerous nuclear reactors. Asterisk, but tanned. This is a big but. Such a radical shift brings massive challenges. Who gets access to this technology first? How do we prevent it from being monopolized by a handful of corporations or governments? What happens to the millions of people working in traditional energy sectors when their jobs suddenly become obsolete? These are tough questions without easy answers. The policy implications alone could keep lawmakers tied up in debates for years. Laws and regulations always struggle to keep pace with rapid technological advancement. And this would be innovation on steroids. Asterisk, back in that demonstration room, cameras are capturing everything. Close-up shots of faces reflecting pure astonishment. Wide angles showing the device humming quietly while powering an increasingly impressive array of equipment. People are documenting every moment, knowing instinctively that they might be witnessing history in the making. Social media is already exploding with live reactions. Hashtags are trending globally within minutes. The whole world is tuning in, and the conversation is just getting started. The inventor smiles, clearly aware that this moment could define not just his legacy, but potentially an entire new chapter in human innovation. He's careful to emphasize that widespread adoption won't happen overnight. There will be testing, lots of testing, third-party verification, collaboration with independent researchers. He's not claiming to have all the answers yet, but he's offering something that's been in short supply, lately tangible evidence that impossible might just be a matter of perspective. As the demonstration wraps up, experts immediately begin dissecting what they've seen. Some are calling it the breakthrough of the century. Others are urging caution, reminding everyone that reproducibility is the true test of any scientific claim. But dismissing what was just demonstrated isn't easy when the evidence was right there, live and unfiltered. The inventor fields questions from journalists, discussing potential applications from rural electrification to complete energy independence for developing nations. He stresses the importance of transparency, actively encouraging independent testing and scrutiny. There's also a serious conversation about ethics happening simultaneously. The inventor isn't treating ethical considerations as an afterthought. They're central to the entire vision. He talks about education, collaboration, and ensuring accessibility so that this technology doesn't become another tool for increasing global inequality. The responsibility that comes with such a breakthrough is enormous. Who decides where these devices get distributed first? How do we prevent misuse? What safeguards need to be in place? Industries worldwide are already imagining how this could integrate with existing systems. Manufacturing sectors are contemplating the possibilities. Transportation networks are considering the implications. Energy companies, the ones not panicking about obsolescence, are sending teams to study the device firsthand. Policymakers are starting to ask questions about regulation, safety standards, and deployment strategies. The media machine is amplifying everything, drawing attention from every corner of the globe and sparking intense debates. Across every platform imaginable, public reaction is exactly what you'd expect: chaotic mix of excitement, skepticism, hope, and fear. Online communities are dissecting every frame of the demonstration footage. Conspiracy theories are already popping up. Believers are celebrating. Critics are demanding more proof. And somewhere in the middle, ordinary people are starting to imagine what their lives might look like if this technology becomes commonplace. For elderly individuals living on fixed incomes, the prospect of never worrying about energy bills again is transformative. Imagine an older adult living independently, confident that their home will maintain power for critical medical equipment regardless of what happens with a local grid. Healthcare facilities in underserved regions could operate life-saving equipment without interruption. Emergency services could remain fully functional during crises. Educational institutions could expand. Access to digital resources without power constraints limiting their reach, but translating a remarkable demonstration into scalable, reliable solutions that can actually be deployed worldwide. That's where the real challenge begins. The inventor acknowledges these hurdles openly. Technical refinement will take time. Regulatory approval processes are notoriously slow. Manufacturing at scale presents its own set of obstacles. But the fundamental principle has been demonstrated, and that's what matters right now. The proof of concept exists. The rest is engineering, policy, and determination. Independent laboratories are already preparing experiments to replicate the results. Universities and research institutions are expressing interest. Conferences are planning special sessions to discuss implications and possibilities. The entire energy sector is watching closely, knowing that if this proves viable at scale, nothing will ever be quite the same again. Daily life could shift dramatically. Energy bills might become a thing of the past. Transportation costs could plummet. Global industries could restructure around abundant, clean power. Remote communities, currently off-grid, could suddenly gain access to consistent, reliable energy. Entire nations might rethink their development strategies and infrastructure investments. The ripple effects would touch virtually every aspect of modern civilization. The device itself, despite its profound implications, is surprisingly elegant. Its design balances simplicity with sophistication, combining functional engineering with thoughtful aesthetics. The inventor emphasizes that usability and reliability are just as important as raw capability. Long-term operation, maintenance requirements, and practical deployment considerations are all part of the equation. The demonstration proved capability, but the real work, the grinding, detailed, unglamorous work of turning a prototype into a world-changing product still lies ahead. For now, though, the demonstration offers something precious hope. Hope that the energy problems plaguing humanity might actually have solutions. Hope that innovation can still surprise us. Hope that the boundaries of what's possible are more flexible than we imagined. Observers leave that room with questions buzzing in their minds, ideas forming, and a renewed sense of curiosity about what tomorrow might bring. Families begin imagining a future unburdened by energy scarcity. Seniors picture reliable power supporting their independence and safety. Communities in developing regions envision opportunities that were previously out of reach. Scientists and engineers feel the thrill of a genuine mystery to unravel. Even skeptics can't quite shake the images they've seen, the data they've reviewed. The undeniable fact that something unusual happened in that room. History has taught us to be cautious with extraordinary claims. and rightfully so. Too many promises have evaporated under scrutiny. Too many breakthroughs turned out to be measurement errors or outright fraud. The scientific community will examine every detail with appropriate skepticism, as they should. Extraordinary evidence is required, and multiple rounds of independent verification will be necessary before anyone can definitively say what this technology represents. But here's what we can say right now: something happened. A live demonstration provided visual, measurable evidence that challenges conventional understanding. Whether this becomes a footnote in the history of failed inventions or a turning point in human civilization remains to be seen. The journey is definitely just beginning. The inventor is calling for global collaboration, emphasizing that no single person or institution can fully explore this potential alone. He's inviting independent researchers to test, challenge, and expand upon what's been demonstrated. Transparency isn't just a buzzword here, it's foundational to the entire approach. Because if this technology is real, and if it can be scaled, then getting it right matters infinitely more than getting it first or keeping it proprietary as the lights dim and the crowds disperse. That device continues humming quietly, a subtle reminder that imagination paired with engineering can produce genuinely surprising results. The global conversation is underway, fueled by curiosity, debate, healthy skepticism, and unbridled hope. Media coverage will continue for weeks, probably months. Social media will amplify every angle, every opinion, every theory. Engineers, innovators, and dreamers worldwide will watch closely, knowing the stakes couldn't be higher. Asterisk, from homes to hospitals, factories to future spacecraft, the potential applications seem limited only by imagination. This demonstration wasn't just about proving a device works. It was about offering a glimpse into a possible future where energy scarcity becomes a historical curiosity rather than a daily concern. A future where human creativity pushes past boundaries we accepted as immovable. A future where the impossible becomes merely difficult, and the difficult becomes achievable. Questions remain, obviously. Critical testing, validation, and responsible deployment are essential next steps. The inventor emphasizes patience and diligence, understanding that rushing could undermine everything. The path from demonstration to global impact is complex, uncertain, and filled with challenges both technical and societal. But it's a path that now exists, whereas before it was purely theoretical. Asterisk, for viewers experiencing this moment. It's an opportunity to witness innovation at the frontier. This isn't just entertainment, it's an invitation to imagine, to question, to engage with possibilities that seemed like science fiction just hours ago. The implications touch everything from daily routines to economic structures, from environmental recovery to human advancement beyond Earth. Energy insecurity could genuinely become a relic of the past. Transportation could transform entirely. Medicine could advance with reliable power, supporting sophisticated equipment anywhere on the planet. Space exploration could extend humanity's reach with compact, powerful energy sources, enabling missions previously considered impossible. And this is only what we can imagine right now, with our current understanding and limitations. The actual applications might be even more remarkable. This is day one of a journey that will continue unfolding in ways we can't fully predict. The inventor encourages ongoing observation, feedback, and participation from every sector of society. Ethics, safety, and fairness must remain central as this technology develops. The potential for advancing human civilization has rarely been clearer, but so has the responsibility to get it right. The world has glimpsed something extraordinary, and it's impossible to simply forget what was witnessed. This demonstration challenges assumptions, inspires wonder, and cracks open doors to futures we previously couldn't imagine. The story is far from over. In fact, it's really just beginning. So, here's what I want you to do. Don't just watch passively. Stay engaged. Follow developments. Ask questions. Demand transparency and evidence. Support rigorous testing and independent verification. Because everyone has a role to play in determining how this unfolds. Innovation, evidence, and imagination have converged in this historic moment. And what happens next depends on all of you as scientists, engineers, policymakers, and ordinary people who refuse to accept that today's limitations define tomorrow's possibilities. The energy landscape might be on the verge of permanent transformation. And it all started with a single live demonstration showing that what we believed impossible might actually be within reach. The implications are profound. The possibilities are genuinely limitless. And the future, well, that's more open than it's been in a very long time. This is your chance to witness history unfolding in real time. To explore curiosity without cynicism. To embrace the idea that maybe, just maybe, human ingenuity still has the power to surprise us. This technology represents more than circuits and magnetic fields. It's a vision, a challenge, and an inspiration for what we might achieve when we dare to question fundamental assumptions. What comes next will depend on science, ethics, collaboration, and imagination working together. The journey is beginning, and every observer, every viewer, every person following this story has a stake in the outcome. The world will never quite be the same, and this device's story is merely the opening chapter. Stay curious. Stay engaged. Watch as human innovation continues redefining the possible. Hit that subscribe button and join the conversation, because the adventure of discovery has only begun. This demonstration has already changed how we think about energy, possibility, and the future itself. The future is here, powered by curiosity, ingenuity, and the courage to challenge everything we think we know. And as that device continues its quiet hum, it reminds us that imagination, when fused with innovation, can indeed reshape reality. Welcome to tomorrow. Let's see where it takes us.